Good morning, Talking Prisoner fans. Exciting announcement. Everyone will probably be wondering why Coral is here. We are doing a promo for a new segment called, take it away, Coral.
Corals Soapbox.
Corals Soapbox.
And as you might have figured, and Matt has certainly figured by now, I like to talk about anything and everything, but especially about television, because that's where I've spent most of my life. So we thought, what a good idea if we do occasional. I mean, I wanted to do it every day, but Matt said once a month is probably enough. If I do some shows in which I talk about those things which people have asked about, which we didn't get around to answering, or just things in general that you may not know that I think you ought to know, like Matt didn't know that Wentworth had filmed bits, cameo pieces with the prisoner cast. I don't know how you missed that, Matt, because it was in every paper and every magazine. So I thought the first episode might be about how dumb Matt is, but we decided that there would not be enough material for a full hour. So what we're going to do is, first of all, to satisfy the fans, our first soapbox is going to be about the secondary characters, if you like, that you love or hate, that polarize people. And I'm talking about people like Pixie, Marlene, Lexi, Cass, Reb, Daphne, Anne Reynolds, Bobby, most of whom we did not get to cover on the 3 parts of Talking Prisoner because Ken started at the bottom and we only got up to about 30 or something, and then we had to jump to the top 3. And then in the second one, and we've only got 2 planned so far, so if any of you have any ideas to add, then send them to the Talking Prisoner website or add them below this promo on YouTube, and we'll think about getting to them. But the second one is going to be Top Dogs and Nasties. And so we'll get to talk among the nasties. Some of them will be screws and some of them will be actual prisoners. So we'll talk about the villains that we had, but we'll talk about Bev Baker, we'll talk about David Bridges, we'll talk about some of the things that didn't work out as planned. I've only just found out recently that Cass Parker killed David Bridges with an axe. Yes. I mean, excuse me, what is that all about? It was scripted very, very clearly that she kills him with a spade. I mean, the reality is there isn't an axe anywhere on the Wentworth grounds. Let's be realistic about this. The prisoners do not have access to an axe. And so already I'm thinking there is a whole program, there is a whole soapbox for me to get on about directors screwing up stories by changing things without passing them by us. And so we might further down the track talk about shows that have been unsuccessful and why, a couple of which I've been involved with, Pacific Drive and Arcade, and stories that didn't work out the way they should have. But I'll let you know at the end of each soapbox what the subject for the following week will be, and it won't be about Matt. I promise it won't be about Matt.
Now you said we've only got 2 subjects so far. Well, I'm going to spring a surprise on you. I've got lots and lots of notes for you for subjects that we've got for the next 2 years at least. So
holy shit, excuse my French, but holy shit. I don't know if you can have holy shit. You can have holy water.
No, you can have holy shit, yeah. No, we can
have holy shit?
Yeah, we can say that.
Oh, okay. So
and
please send your donations of toilet paper care of Matt Batten YouTube, because if we are going into holy shit categories, we're going to need all the toilet paper we can get.
And also we're going to home and away, Neighbours, Pacific Drive, which we mentioned.
Absolutely. We'll do all of we'll do all of those different shows and talk about those things on them, so that the people who maybe you know, are not such great prisoner fans, in which case, what's wrong with you? We will cover things for them as well. So it's for, as the title says, it's for lovers of soap. Yes. And I decided very early on in my career that soap was what I wanted to do. And now's a chance to plan watch in 2023 for my book, Dirty Laundry, My Life and Soap, which will probably tell you all the things you've already heard on all of these things, but you'll be able to see it in black and white and go back and read it again and say, I can't believe she said that. I've watched some of these Talking Prisoners and thought, I can't believe I said that. But hey, at my age, if you can't say what you think when you're 70, nearly 78, when can you? We have too much political correctness at the moment. Yes. We don't have it. We have everybody worrying about hurting somebody's feelings. Oh, don't say that. It might hurt someone's feelings. Bugger their feelings. If it's the truth, it's the truth. And if someone gets upset by it, well, tough titties, as they say.
Yes. And we're very honoured to have you do this segment with us, because you are one of the greatest writers for TV soaps in Australia.
Oh, shut up, Matt. I'm a good writer, but I don't know that I'm one of the greatest writers. So I've got an Augie which says I was 1 year. It says I was 1 year. I got an Augie for Home and Away, actually. Never got an award for Prisoner. Did get nominated a couple of times, but never got an award for it. So it's always a pleasure to talk to you anyway. So, and to all the fans out there who keep the show going. You know, I mean, let's face it, if we didn't have them, people, it's really, when you think of it, still talking about shows, or this particular show, which is 40 years old.
Amazing.
I was old even when it started. I was working on it when I had my 40th birthday, which back in those days was considered quite old, decidedly middle-aged. And, you know,
why is that? Actually, speaking of 40, so I'm 44, but when I was a kid, 40 to me seemed like, whoa, you're old.
Well, number one, it's perception. It's that perception of where you are at that time in your life. However, you've got to remember that 40 years ago, I think the life expectancy for men was about 67 and for women was about 69. So, you know, unless you planned to live to be 80 or more, 40 was middle-aged. I mean, 40 now, you're barely a grown-up, Matt. You know, I mean, you have to prove to us that you can grow whiskers, but you're barely grown up at 40 these days. And so I think the other thing I want to address in Soapbox is to get up on my soapbox and say, please, 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 people who weren't born when these shows started, you really don't know shit about what went on. So stop judging by shows of 2010, 2020, and try to broaden your horizons a little bit and learn something about what it was like back in the old days when we had steam television and you had to work the set with the pedals on your feet. You know, I'm sure some people think we did that. You know, I'm sure they do.
Oh, but you had to have a license for a TV back in.
Yeah, you did, and I think that's a bloody good.
Came around.
I think that's a bloody good idea, quite frankly. We pay for Netflix. We pay for all of the platforms that we watch. Why should we expect to get programs for absolutely nothing? It's entertainment. Yeah. It's entertainment. If you go to the cinema, you have to pay. If you you know, download a movie to watch, unless it's some of the crap on Netflix, then you have to pay. Why should you not pay? You want good programs. You want, and you know, I saw you sent me that interesting thing about free to air, and I do think free to air will.
We'll talk about soon. Yeah.
Yeah, I think free to air will survive because there will always be people who don't have smart TVs or don't have computers or simply can't afford to buy their entertainment. So I think there will always be, but I think there will be fewer and fewer new shows, new local shows. And hey, isn't this supposed to be a 5-minute
It's a
promo?
promo video. So jump off your soapbox.
All right, I'm getting
All
off my
right.
soapbox.
This is
Hang
it.
on, hang on, hang on. I'm getting off the soapbox.
See you soon.
Right.